selling with authenticity.
It's building that relationship.
About the value.
Because you want to make that impact.
It can make you happier.
Elevate others around
Welcome
us.
to the Selling from the Heart podcast, your home for authentic, effective, and socially integrated sales strategies to help you master the art of selling. Join your co-hosts Larry Levine and Daryl Amy, along with some of the world's best sales thought leaders and practitioners, as we explore ways to help you grow your sales.
Hello and welcome back to the Selling from the Heart podcast. Your co-host Daryl Amy here today with Larry Levine. What's going on, Larry?
All kinds of stuff. Another great day in the Selling from the Heart podcast world. And here we are, Daryl. We're just weeks away. We're knocking on the door of the new year. It's
oh my gosh, so cool. And just a huge shout out to everyone. This is the time of year where we get to say thank you. And thank you to everybody in the Selling from the Heart community, this growing movement of authenticity in the sales profession. And I love what's going on. A huge shout out and thank you to everybody in the Selling from the Heart Insiders group. It has been so much fun working together this past year, hanging out, encouraging each other. I just love what's going on in the Insiders group.
You know, absolutely. Whether you're a sales leader or you're a sales professional, come check us out. Come hang out with us. The best part of this community, we're like-minded, we're like-hearted, but we hold each other accountable and we bring each other up. And now everyone has an accountability partner, helps them do, better things out in the community. More importantly, we're all rowing in the same direction.
Yeah, so if that sounds like something that would be wonderful, especially as you're kicking off this new year, come join us at the Selling from the Heart Insiders group. Just go to sellingfromtheheart.net/insiders. You can learn all about how to get engaged and even come join us 30 days for free. Sellingfromtheheart.net/insiders. We'd love to hang out with you. You're going to absolutely love it. And speaking of love, today is
Daryl, you tee it up well.
Love. Oh, we're teeing it up. We've got our new friend, Finka Jerkovic, in the house. Welcome. It's great to have you here.
It's great to be here. So thanks for having me.
We're excited. This is, it's good to have a fellow Canadian on the show once again.
Uh-oh.
And I know Larry is
Daryl loves ganging up. Sorry, Finka.
That's right. You're outnumbered today, Larry. But it's this conversation about selling and love is going to be phenomenal. And as we get started, I think the best way to tee this conversation up is the question that every guest on the Selling from the Heart podcast answers. And that is, Finka, what does it mean to you to sell from the heart?
Great question. So selling from the heart means that we're coming from this place of, and I think we got this definitely in common when we talk about authenticity, and really coming from a place of authentic integrity. And you stop being or pretending or trying to be someone you're not and be who you are. When you know who you are, and we call it your brilliant difference, meaning it's this brilliant part of you that's here to make an impact and add value and make a difference. When you bring that, it becomes so much easier to do the next step, which is to meet people where they're at through empathy and being an empathetic communicator. So really stepping into our clients' shoes, even though we've never walked in them or possibly walked a few steps, how could you really understand that point of view of where they're coming from? And then number 3, selling from the heart to me means really coming from this place of purpose, that what you do, the services or the products you are selling are here to make a meaningful impact, whether it is to the world at large or to the individual that it's here to serve, whether it's solving their problem, helping them achieve certain goals. And so when I think about selling from the heart, you've got those three pedestals you have to be standing on: a place of authenticity, a place of empathy, and a place of purpose.
Oh, this Beautiful. is so nice. But I want to go back and I want to key in on a couple words you said, because hopefully before we start the podcast, we can just really get, going through this. Is you said, it's only been a couple seconds. My brain is like freaking mush, Finka. But,
Do you have your coffee yet?
No, it's actually, it's probably too much. But you said come from a place of brilliant difference. Unpack that just for a moment, please.
Yeah. Each of us come with a set of characteristics, personality traits, skills, expertise. And it's like this, that stone stoop, like that jambalaya of everything. And for most of us, we didn't like, I don't know about you guys, but I know for me, I didn't have this. Well, when I grow up, I want to be a lawyer, an astronaut, and so for many of us, we struggled. And some of us are still saying, like, who am I? What am I here to do? What am I going to be when I grow up? And then you end up in this profession of sales. Right. And the thing is about sales is we want to help people. And the best way that we've navigated our work or our career or our business is serving through selling. But the way in which Larry does it, Daryl does it, Finka does it, it's all uniquely different. And often what can happen is we get into our work and into our businesses and we haven't yet figured our way because we don't think it's good enough, may not be as successful. Like I'm seeing Larry climb the ranking boards, or he's doing awesome. He's closing some big deals. All that stuff's happening. It's like, oh, okay, I got to go do it like Larry. And it's like, no, actually, when you try to do it like Larry, you're never going to unleash your full potential. You're never going to get to that best version of what you can do because you're doing it like Larry. Instead, what you do is you look at Larry and it's like, oh, Larry's doing it in a very unique way. He's got an analytical and logical mind. He did biochemistry, but he's selling financial services. That's a unique, way of thinking that he brings to the table. You can't replicate that. But what you can do is look and say, wow, you come from this place of creativity. And instead of biochemistry, you did philosophy or history. And you come from a HR background, but you found yourself in sales. So how could you actually leverage those skills and expertise to create meaningful relationships, ways that you can connect to your clients in a way that's going to add value to them? And what happens is we stop being something we're not. And when you could do that, it lets go a lot of this energy because we expend a lot of energy trying to fit. What's the secret formula? What's the unique way? Actually, stop doing all that. That's just noise. And it's driving a further wedge between you and your client and you and the outcomes you could be creating if you had chosen to figure out who you are, how do you add unique value, and then really focusing that in an area that's going to be meaningful to someone else. Now, the reason we call it your brilliant difference is when you think of your skills and expertise, personal branding, resumes, LinkedIn profiles, any of that stuff, we loathe doing that. It's not a fun place to be. We don't, for some people, it's like, I don't know what I'm good at. Like we're so wired to look at what's wrong with us, not right with us. And it takes a lot of energy, and it's just like we procrastinate. And then when we do that work, it's as fast as possible and as just get it done, like a get it done exercise. And when we don't invest that time, we lose out on the potential of what we can do. Now, the reason why we call it your brilliant difference is because it's not about you. Your brilliant part is you, the brilliance that encapsulates who you are. But when we now say it's not about you or for you, it's actually about the clients and customers you're here to serve, all of a sudden you get invested in it. All right, I got to figure out how I uniquely help my clients solve for problems. Is it because I can help them make confident decisions? Is it because I could, again, analytically move through a process and tell them the how-tos, but get them to make that final decision? Is it because you're so awesome at creating emotional connection that your clients just feel comfortable with you? You don't have to do anything. Knowing that secret formula, all of a sudden it's not about you anymore. It's about how you can help them through the vehicle of you-ness.
I love it.
Hey, Daryl, this is, what was really interesting about all this? You must have let Finka in on a secret. And then I'm going to throw it back your way. How did she know that I was a biochemist person?
I'm
like,
are you really?
No, but you know what? I'm sitting there listening to what you're saying. I'm like, oh man, come on, Finka, keep it up. You're making me look really smart. So thanks, Daryl.
No, I mean, that is the first line is Selling from the Heart book, right? Is I was a drug dealer, just the legal kind, right? But this is, I think what you're saying is so powerful because we believe that more trust, more sales. Trust is the currency of sales. we're selling in a world that trust is at an all-time low. Some people have called it a post-trust world. And so here we go out as salespeople, we need trust. And then we're looking at the person across the office who's hitting the top of the board, or the person on Facebook who's saying, I can show you the way, right? And all this stuff. And we go out as these caricatures, but not authentic. And the trust, like the walls just go up, and we wonder why we can't get anywhere. I love what you're talking about is your authentic self does sell you. And this discovering your authentic self in many ways is the ball game for a high performance sales professional.
It absolutely is. And you touched on something super important because, trust is the crux of everything. If you don't trust yourself, how can you expect your customers to?
There you go.
Bingo.
Right?
Bingo.
Right. And so you got to do the work. You got to do the homework. You got to do the heavy lifting and look at yourself. And this is not only about the things you are brilliant at, it's also about calling in the things you are not. Because that's where your colleagues, your teammates, your support staff, your HR, whatever that team that you are surrounded by, get to go on that journey with you. So it's not only you bringing your brilliant difference in your unique way, and then your colleagues and teammates get to do it in their unique way. And all of a sudden, because you look at these workplaces as well, because often it can be, especially in sales, we can get very competitive. And all of a sudden, that competitive nature between, let's say, the three of us, if we're all on the same team, instead of it being cooperative and collaborative, it actually starts to create division and silos. And that's not in the best interest of the organization and the purpose of that company, but also the best interest of the clients we serve. But if I know, we got Larry, the biochemist, and Daryl, Daryl, what are we giving you?
Oh, I don't know. I'm going to be like the
I was going to say the drug dealer.
No, I'd say
who's going to go with something like engineer or architect?
Daryl, the analytical nerd. That's a good one.
Thanks, Larry. Yeah,
Daryl. Let's give him Daryl, the architect, right? And Finka, the ambitious goal getter. Whatever those aspects of our individual contribution, all of a sudden it's like, all right, I got to get the architect at the table, and we need the biochemist because the client I'm visiting and seeing needs that type of connection to be made. And all of a sudden we're working collaborating cooperatively versus I got to meet my target. I got to do my thing.
And I think one of the things that sales professionals forget, and maybe this is, even authentic sales professionals who are selling from a good place, forget that they are the value. Like, there's the product and the company that you represent is a chunk of the value, but a huge, huge piece of the value is what you bring to the table uniquely as a sales professional in going in and helping them. And so understanding your purpose, understanding who you really are, allows you to show up and add value in ways that if you're trying to kind of fake it and be something else, which is exactly how I was taught to sell when I got in the sales world, right? Yep. Here's what you do, here's what you say, here's how you dress. And if you didn't say the right things, do the right things, or dress the right way, you got corrected really quickly. But the reality is, in today's world with trust at an all-time low, authenticity is what wins the day, and purpose behind that is so critical. How do you coach people to find their purpose? I'm curious what your take on this is.
So, part of the work of purpose is really understanding your purpose. So why do you do what you do? Why are you selling the services or the products that you sell? What's in it for you that you're getting out of it? Which again goes back to the authenticity piece. Your brilliant difference. That difference really encapsulates your purpose, right? And then when we work in organizations, when we're selling other people's stuff. So for instance, I spent 25 years in financial services. So I was a commercial banker, a financial advisor, and then eventually led sales teams and then ended up, coaching them. But part of that was, it wasn't the mortgage or the investment solution but it was the change I got to make in my clients' lives that gave me purpose. And so when we look at an organization, the products you sell, it's inevitable. It's in essence, it's not really about those products. It's about the transformation that you are fulfilling for your clients that they get to get because you use those services. I like to reckon it to two things. We are selling transactions. Our clients are buying transformations,
Love it.
Oh,
right?
Love it.
So our clients, so we're selling our products or services. That's the transactional nature of our business. Unfortunately, what happens is when we go into the conversation, we are so enamored. We think our clients are buying the mortgage, the software, that we think they're buying that. Actually, they're not buying that. They're buying the thing that thing will do and give them, which is the transformation. So if we can look at the way we sell and what we sell in those two constructs, often, I had one of my clients in our Sell from Love Accelerator program. She's like, she created a one pager for the product, the service she was selling, and it was all about the service. It's this long, this much, this is what you get. This is the process. This is how you buy. And she's like, what do you think? And I'm like, here's the transaction to transformation selling worksheet. Go work on this first, and then I'll tell you. I'll tell you, because it's one box in that whole conversation, but we spend so much time focusing in on it. So back to your question around our purpose. Our purpose, the vehicle is the transaction, what we are selling, that vehicle, what the client is getting, whether they're getting more confidence, whether they're getting clarity, are they going to have peace of mind, ease. Those are the emotional transformation that they're getting. But then there's the tangible, they're going to increase profit. They're going to increase employee engagement. They're going to increase client loyalty. So that's the what they'll have, but there's also a behavioral component. What will they be able to do? So the three things in that transformation we're facilitating. Who are they going to be able to be? So that's the emotional state. What are they going to be able to do? The behavioral state. And number three, the have. What is the impact that they're going to be able to have? That's the defined transformation that the transaction is facilitating.
Oh, this is great. And I want to camp on this transaction and transformation and just peel this back just one layer if you can, Finka, is there's and I'm going to stick up for salespeople on this just for a moment and just because
I'm a little hard on them.
No, but I hang out on social media and you see the dump happening to salespeople, but their products and the environments they're raised in. So speak to the sales leader just for a moment who's transactional in nature, right? Who thinks transactionally. Coach a sales leader on the power behind what you're saying so that this person gets it, whether it's he or she. They go, you know what? If I can coach my salespeople on becoming more transformational, this means X, Y, Z. Speak to that sales leader.
Often as sales leaders, we look at our Excel spreadsheet or wherever we are monitoring and managing our sales results. And we're looking at the difference from where we are to where we need to get to. And our sales team are the people that are going out there and going to sell that stuff to deliver on those outcomes. That's the what. And often what can happen, and I fell for it so many times, where how many calls are you making? How many clients are you seeing? How many, approaches, outreaches, what results did you get? We get so focused on what. And instead, that what, again, we're transactional. We're transactional sales leaders. And what we need to do is actually rewind that conversation and start from this place of how. How are you engaging with your clients today? How are you reaching out? How did that conversation go? What worked? What didn't? How, how. It's a how conversation. That's the transformational conversation as sales leaders that we need to be having. So as a sales leader, when you're going to coach, when you're going into your team huddles and your team meetings, start looking from the perspective, are you doing what transactional leadership, management, let's call it, or are you doing how transformational leadership? And that orientation, can you sense the difference of where you're going?
Totally.
Like,
Sure.
the conversation shifts immediately.
Beautiful. Yeah, that's powerful. And this whole mindset, going back to selling transformation, selling results, selling outcomes, and looking at the different layers of that, I think is really profound. And when it comes to purpose, what I think is beautiful here is you might be selling widgets, you might be selling, you might be selling financial services, you might be selling truckloads of dirt, but the if you look and go, there's no purpose in that other than getting a commission check. But if you look at, peel it back and go, what are the outcomes? If you're selling that truckload of dirt, it might be so that family can build their new home, or it might be for, you know,
Listen,
there's all
Derek,
kinds of
yeah,
purpose.
Yeah.
exactly. Like, so for me, if you delivered like some real good dirt to my property, we live on 85 acres. I've got a greenhouse. I've got 3 different gardens. You put that, like, I was saying this to colleagues of mine the other day. I could write 5 more books. Nothing is more fulfilling for me than the vegetables I grow in my greenhouse.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
See,
so
beautiful.
you get me really good dirt, some, that soil that's going to help me, I'm in Canada. We talked about that already. In Ontario, it is, November 8th today. It is green with Swiss chard, lettuce. I get that fulfillment to put really good food on the table for my family. You can't put a price on that.
And this
And
is
Yeah.
that's what you're selling me. You're not selling me dirt. You're selling me clean food, farm to table, personal fulfillment that I get more than writing 5 more books. Like, that is immeasurable.
so many
That's
layers to that, right?
right.
And it's
And that's the
purpose.
exactly. And that's the transformation each and every one of us are doing. And we get the transaction, whatever that vessel is, dirt, perfume, coaching programs, whatever those products we get to sell, mortgages. And that's the vehicle we get to make that change for people.
It's the whole thing, as I'm listening to this, it's the whole thing about slow down to sell faster.
Mm-hmm.
It's salespeople, right? They'll ask a couple questions, call it surface level questions, think they already know the answers. And then boom, there goes a proposal, because they know if they don't come back to the office and share that story with their manager, they're going to get hammered over the head. But in essence, if you just stopped, and this can all be done in that meeting, just ask those second and third and fourth level questions. You will unpack all of this to be able then to provide that proposal, which helps them achieve those outcomes and so forth. It's just slowing down to sell faster.
It is. And can I offer you 4 quadrants of there are 4 transformations we have the opportunity to cure or facilitate for our clients. And I always look at them in these 4 containers. The first is they've got a problem to solve. Easiest transformation. It's the hottest. It's the one that is top of mind for them. The problem. They've got an immediate problem. And again, there's the surface problem questions that we're asking, and then there's the deeper level, the problem. The second transformation we have a chance to solve for or facilitate for our clients is goals. What goals are they looking to achieve? So what we're going to notice with our clients and customers is some of them are just pain adverse, like, get this problem away from me, and they will act on problem. But we'll also see clients that want to achieve stuff, like, I want stuff, I want this, I want that. And so they're more goal driven, ambition driven. And so you'll notice, in your conversations, is this client looking to avoid pain, or are they looking for gain? And so those are the 2 transformations, primary ones that clients are going to be interested in us helping them achieve. The other 2 a little bit harder. And I will say, whether you're selling from love or selling from the heart, these are the 2 that help us go below the waterline, because everyone else is going to focus on problems or goals. What makes us different when we come from this place of authenticity and from heart and from love is we actually want to know them even deeper by helping them understand their values and their dreams. And when we could connect to them, and those are those deeper level questions. What do they value? What's important to them? Why is that important to them? What happens if they don't get that? What happens if they do? And then their dreams, the stuff that they have, buried deep in their closets that they're not even looking at or considering. Things that they thought one day, and maybe you're the person that gets them to just bring it to light. And you might not be able to solve the dream solution that they're looking for, but what if you're the person that gets to ask them the questions to remind them of that?
Yeah.
Right. And so those are the 4 transformations we have the opportunity. We're solving problems, helping them achieve goals, align to their values, or fulfill a dream.
Beautiful.
And that's what we're looking for every client, every client.
And this is selling with love. Selling with love. Absolutely. Just love your heart towards this. You're a true kindred spirit to selling from the heart. And we look forward to this isn't going to be the last time we hang out. I'm pretty confident on that. Hey, I'm curious, Fink, if folks want to know more about selling with love and what you've got going on in your world, because I know people are going to want to know more. How can they get a hold of you?
Beautiful. Thank you for that. You can check out sellfromlove.com. And I'd say start with the book. Start with the book. Read the book. Everything we talked about your brilliant difference, step-by-step process on how to figure it out, how to write it out. We've got 3 ways: your signature, your statement, and your story. So you can have the words to help you figure out how do you show up from that place of authenticity. And you can connect with me on LinkedIn.
That's good.
So cool. Finka, what a pleasure. And I just want to say, just on behalf of the whole community and Selling from the Heart, we're cheering you on. I think what you're doing is awesome. And we really have enjoyed sharing time with you today.
Likewise, right back at you.
That's good.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Larry, what an incredible conversation. And this whole concept of selling from a place of love and bringing it, you like to talk about the L word. We didn't get to bring this in, but even, going to the point of truly loving your clients and telling them that this is where we get down below the surface. I love that conversation about they're actually the higher quadrants of values and dreams. What a beautiful perspective to think about.
No, I totally agree. And it's why, here at Selling from the Heart, we believe that soft skills will yield you hard dollars. Mm-hmm. These are the things that moving forward, as we take this leap into 2023, we got to take a step back. How are we connecting with our clients? How are we connecting to our future clients? Are we bringing our authentic self to the forefront?
Yeah.
How do you know if you are? Let's just think about that for a moment.
So powerful. And this is a great time of year to go on this journey of self-reflection. So I want to challenge everybody to take what Finka has shared with us today and sit down with a cup of coffee, a cup of hot tea, whatever your happy place is, and sit down and journal this out, start thinking about the answers to these questions that she's posed to us today. Because the more that we get in touch with our authentic self, the more we're going to be able to show up in an authentic way, and we're going to enjoy financial results and the fulfillment that comes from selling from that perspective. So good, Larry. Huge shout out again to all of our insiders, sellingfromtheheart.net/insiders. If you want to get engaged with some like-hearted sales professionals, we are so excited about some announcements coming out real soon. I know we've been teasing them the last few podcast episodes. Just wait. We got some exciting things on the horizon as we look into the new year. So make sure to most of all, check us out on YouTube, hit that subscribe button, and you don't want to miss out on what's ahead, Larry. I'm so excited about this holiday time of reflection and gratitude. I'm excited about the new year ahead as well.
I can't wait. Let's just kick off the new year right now.
Well, hold your horses. We're gonna take a little time. Happy holidays to everybody. Thanks for tuning in. Till next time, keep being genuine, keep being authentic, keep adding real value, sell with love, and most of all, sell from the heart.